Ahoy there, listeners, and welcome to the latest episode of the Captain's Horror Meltdown. My name is Cammie.
At least you remembered the title that time round.
Yeah, that's true. Alright, come on. My name is Cammie and I'll be your captain on this journey, and I'm joined, as ever, by Jon, my close companion, and bell polisher.
What polisher?
Bell polisher.
Bell polisher.
Yes, you polish the bell. We've got a fucking lovely bell that we ring.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah. And you polish it, and you polish it.
Right. How often does that happen? Is that a full-time job?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, it's going to be kept buffed at all times.
Is that a real thing?
Yes. I don't know. It's been a bit of a whirlwind of a couple of days. I've travelled many miles and slept very few hours.
Yeah. I mean, to your eternal credit, I mean, this will now be, what episode will this be? I don't know, 22 or 23 or 23 probably. I guess you must be running short on bullshit jobs.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got a couple stored away in a notebook that I wrote them all down in, but I can't find that notebook now.
Ah, okay.
It was this specific Captain's Horror Meltdown notebook that I got and started for this podcast.
You can't find it,
and I lost it.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm just going to point out to the listeners. Well, to Dave, friend of the podcast.
Well, I think you can say I can safely say Doc, Dave, and Hamish.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, the three Doc, Dave, and Hamish, the three friends of the podcast. Yeah, I'm recording this episode in my bedroom, in my digs in Glasgow. I am perched on the edge of a bed. The laptop is balanced on a is it a bureau? I don't know what it is.
Sideboard?
Bit of furniture. I'm holding the microphone because I've got no room to put it anywhere, and there is being in the middle of Glasgow, there's a police helicopter overhead at the moment.
Excellent.
Yeah, I think it's very warm today in Glasgow, and there's a lot of drinking going down, and it looked like a lot of people were going to the park with massive carryouts.
Yep, sounds familiar. Yep.
Yeah, and of course, well, if you're not from Scotland, you probably wouldn't know, but it's illegal to drink in public in Glasgow.
Yep. I think I'm pretty sure it's in Edinburgh as well.
No, it's not. It's only they've got special zones that they can stop you drinking in Edinburgh, but you're allowed to just generally walk around and drink.
All right, okay, I didn't know that. I just thought there was some kind of. Well, I don't think everything was banned, but I thought it was banned in most places. But
it's up to the council.
I just thought they turned a blind eye to Leith, because what are you going to do, you know?
Yeah, that was always one of my favourite things about Edinburgh, was that you could just walk into, in a hot summer's day, you could just walk into an off licence, buy a single cold bottle of beer from the fridge, and just have them open it for you and walk out. Tremendous. Always loved doing that. So yeah, thanks for joining us, listeners. I have no idea if this is actually episode 22 or whatever, but we're planning on catching up and just starting to release like every couple of weeks or whatever it is we release, and just record, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we're
not going to get a few in the bag. We're just going to get up to speed and just batter them out.
Yeah, became fairly obsessed about having ones in lieu
in the bag.
But because the interesting thing about the side missions is you can kind of talk about current things, because I basically put it out. Well, we recorded on the Sunday and it went out on Monday. So yeah, that's probably the way I'd like to start doing things if possible, which means things might get a touch sporadic from time to time.
Well, we are nearly caught up. We've had our first lost episode as well, haven't we?
We have already? Yes.
Missing in action.
Yeah.
The bird of the crystal plumage.
Yep. Yeah.
Enough. I think the less said about that, the better.
Yeah, let's just keep that under wraps. Excellent.
Yeah, totally. But shall we move on? Will we move on? Let's move on.
Let's come on. We've
So
made the time.
So you're joining us tonight for where we're going to be covering Fright Night.
Oh, yes.
From 1985, directed by Tom Holland.
Oh, yes.
What a cracking little movie.
It is a belter. And it's interesting. Kind of, I, like you, I think the worst thing for me is, I don't even know why I made the decision to do it, but I watched it thinking we were going to record, even though we hadn't set a record date at all.
Yeah.
That is now, I must have watched it about 3 or 4 weeks ago and made zero notes whatsoever.
So you made no notes, but I think it's safe to say both of us have pretty bad memories these days.
Yeah, not great.
No.
I mean, for God's sake, mind you saying that, I think maybe it's just an age thing.
It might be.
As I do recall that time where I was only reminded of my anniversary when you and Marianne WhatsApped both Rachel and I to say happy anniversary, and both of us
Happy
were like,
anniversary.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's pretty bad.
Well,
at least it was both of us. But I think it's like I got the message first, and I think, oh, maybe I could pretend that I remembered, and then make her feel bad that she didn't remember. I thought, John, that's a really shitty thing to do.
Yeah, totally. Just trying to score brownie points. Yeah.
By
Do
being
you
a
know what?
dick.
I had a proper senior moment just yesterday, in fact. Was it yesterday? Maybe the day before. Can't remember. I turned around to Bertie and said, oh yeah, no, I watched a cracking film on Netflix the other day called The Perfection, and he was like, yeah, you watched it with me. Literally 5 days ago, and for some reason I thought I'd watched it with you, but I think it's just because we were talking about it.
Yeah, because I think you started watching it, and then you weren't even that long into it, and I was like, I need to start watching this film. So just like down tools, it's like whatever was happening in the house, out to the office, projector fired on, and there was some messages pinging back and forward. So I can understand how you could come to that.
Yeah, totally. But that's bad though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll pretend it's good. No.
But on to Fright Night. Shall we start off with what are your recollections of this film now, John? I'm going to say straight up here, I did not watch it back in the day. I only saw it for the first time very recently. I saw it for the first time when I actually bought this Blu Ray. And it's a film that was omnipresent in VHS video shops back in the day.
Yeah, that cover was always quite
cracking cover, cracking sleeve. I never got around to actually renting it for some reason, which I don't understand. Looking at the cover just now, I'm like, what the hell was 12-year-old me thinking?
I don't know. I literally can't think what you would be thinking.
Oh God! I mean, it really was an iconic sleeve back then. I mean, it really evokes strong memories.
Yep.
Of seeing the sleeve anyway. But yeah, I'd never watched it at the time, and it was something that I always quite fancied getting around to. But I guess maybe I've never been that big on vampire films, so it's something that I've got more into more recently. So.
I think that's something I would bring up as well. I definitely saw it on VHS at some point. I was trying to think if I'd actually ever had it on DVD. I just don't know. I honestly can't remember if I've had it on DVD or not. But it is one of those films that, I think even you see it once and it sticks in your memory for a long, long time. So it's got loads of cool imagery and stuff and great characters. But I'd go with you down the vampire thing. I mean, I probably am slightly more into contemporary vampire stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't really have much interest in old school Dracula, whether it be anything, Nosferatu up to Hammer horror. I was like, it's not really my bag.
Well, we did. We watched Nosferatu in the last meltdown, didn't we? Of course, the modern version, the 70s version. Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah.
Of course. And actually, at Halloween, I think what kickstarted me off with a little bit of vampire action was Duke showing me Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula recently, which I never watched at the time and is incredible and insane. and I really fucking enjoyed it. And then I went back, and then on the back of that, I sat and watched Dracula, the 1930s Dracula, with Bela Lugosi, with Marianne at Halloween. We sat and watched that.
Okay.
Which is quite fun. I hadn't watched it for a long time. Hilarious effects. You got to love it with the sort of old flappy bats and all the rest. But it's kind of got me into it. And now it's like, recently I've been thinking, I watched Near Dark again recently.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's old vampires, modern vampires. I've quite fancied watching Vamp. Watching Vamp back in the day on TV. I don't know. I suspect it might have been a Movie-Drome film, Vamp. But
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It's one of the more slightly out there ones. But I did have it on Blu Ray for a while, but it fell victim to my clearance. It's got quite a lot of. It's got Grace Jones in it, so it's going to have some pretty hardcore imagery anyway. And she's just a pretty spectacular person to look at most of the time. But yeah, no, as a film, I didn't really enjoy it, and I think what kind of certainly what I think is kind of a renaissance of vampire stuff is kind of post Fright Night, but from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yes,
I mean that was a real kind of like, right, we're turning this genre on its fucking head and just and forgive the pun, injecting some new blood into it. I've not watched that film for a long time.
Oh
man, it's an absolute riot, man. It's great.
Is there a decent blue of that out?
There certainly is a blue of it. I don't know how great it is. I don't actually have it, to be honest. I know I'm sort of talking it up as like, I've not seen it in years. But again, it's one of those ones that, it's got some great images in it, and man, Salma Hayek. Oh, dearie me.
Dynamite.
yeah. And I think actually, From Dusk Till Dawn 2 exists, that's a thing, and I'm pretty sure Bruce Campbell's at the start of that, but classically he gets killed in the first scene. Anyway.
And of course there was the once mooted prequel to Bubba Hotep, Bubba Nosferatu.
Yeah,
which never got made.
Still kind of gets mentioned, but last I heard, Bruce Campbell was like, I'm not into the script, and I think if Bruce Campbell's not in it, you may as well just chuck it out the water, to be honest. It's exactly. All Dusk Till Dawn and Bubba Hotep, both films that I would quite like to get around to on this. Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Yeah, totally. So you did see Fright Night back in the day on VHS, but obviously that was a long time ago.
It was, but it was definitely a stick in the memory kind of one. There's no question about it.
Yeah,
because I remembered a lot of the scenes and the imagery going back to this Blu-ray, certainly.
Oh, nice.
There's so many kind of cool things in it that just have actually totally stuck with me for many years now, obviously.
Yes.
And so it's like, man, there's a lot to be said for a film that manages to achieve that, and that's definitely one of them.
Yeah, it's good. Nothing came back to me, so I'm pretty definite. I'm pretty certain I didn't watch it back in the day. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't even know why. I don't even know what prompted me to buy it recently. I must have bought it in the last year, but it certainly wasn't for this. But
actually, now oddly, I've got the same Blu-ray as you, but the Blu-ray I watched before watching my one was your one.
Yeah, what? How did that happen?
It was a meltdown, and it's one of those ones once all the films run out, and then maybe people have started dropping off to bed or whatever. It was like Fright Night, and I don't think it was even opened. I was like, "Fucking get it open, get it open," and then everyone promptly fell asleep. So I didn't actually see that much of it. So yes, this viewing was a fairly new one for me.
Yeah, I do actually remember that incident, but I don't remember the film at that point. So I must have definitely. I'm always the first one to go to sleep at the meltdown.
But you do it with style. It's just like, right, I'm not going to fall asleep dribbling on the couch.
I always get up and
I'm going to bed, and man, there's respect to that.
There's something to be said for that, isn't there?
There's a lot to be said for that. Instead of like waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning in a crumpled heap with your neck bent into an impossible position.
with just the projector on full blast.
Yeah.
Like, just like the whole room just blue, just like a blue screen. Yeah. Always fun. Always fun at the meltdown. I'm surprised the bulb's not gone yet on that thing.
Yeah, no, they last a long time.
I've never changed the bulb in it. It's amazing.
Oh, they last anyway. Yeah, those things last. I mean, it's like 2,500-3,000 hours. Those things last for.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I don't use it. Actually, I don't use it for watching telly or anything like that. So
yeah.
Yeah,
you'll be alright.
Yeah, fine. So, what can we say about Fright Night? I was really. Both recent viewings I've had, like, really impressed with it. Absolutely fucking love this wee movie. It's an absolute belter.
It is.
It's unbelievably 80s.
Well, that's actually one of the notes I made. It hasn't dated. Well, I'm saying in comparison.
It feels like it's not dated.
In comparison to a lot of.
It's massively 80s.
It is pretty 80s, but in comparison to a lot of. I mean, I know I've mentioned this in the podcast before looking at 80s films, and this fare is not too bad. I mean, mainly because there's not that many wild hairstyles. That's always a dead giveaway. There's nothing particularly. No one's wearing like fucking spacesuits or anything.
There's no sort of like shots that are sort of panning over of Venice Beach or anything like that.
No.
Like, or sort of like downtown Beverly Hills with people dressed as like in spacesuits and crazy,
totally like
walking about in leotards.
Yeah, and shoulder pads up to your and I think obviously one of the scenes gives away is that scene in the club, and there's oof! Wow,
man!
Yeah, that's just started for 10, really, isn't it? You're in no doubt about what you're slap bang in the 80s at that point.
Yeah, I did. I did make a note about. I did make a note about the nightclub scene. It's got a classic sort of French style chef in it.
Oh,
like he gets into the nightclub through the window of the kitchen, where the nightclub where people are just like, it's like a proper nightclub. There's like a French chef
just doing
in the kitchen. Just totally. What the hell? Who's ordering food in a nightclub?
I've no idea. Should we actually tell people what it's about?
Oh yeah, shit. We probably should, shouldn't we? Right. So, I didn't. I'll tell you. That's exactly what I'll do. I'll do a little synopsis, won't I?
Let's do that.
I'm going to look up a little synopsis.
So prepared you are.
I would say, it's a bit of vampire, Ken. That's what I'd say over here. But here we go. Right. Usually the synopsis are quite good on Letterboxd.
Yep. The research here is terrific. It really shows.
Man, I've done absolutely fuck all research. It's terrible.
Wow.
No, do we tell? Here we go. Nobody believes teenager Charlie Brewster when he discovers that his suave new neighbour, Jerry Dandridge, is a vampire. So when the bloodsucker starts stalking Charlie, he turns to has-been actor Peter Vincent, famed for portraying a ghoul hunter. Unfortunately for the would-be vampire slayers, Dandridge has set his sights on Charlie's girlfriend.
Is that it?
It's a fair summary.
It's reasonable. Yeah. It floats over there. So,
I mean, that is the main hook, and it's something that I like actually. That it actually plays out. For some reason, in my head, I always thought this was a horror comedy, and I have seen some people saying it's a horror comedy. I don't really think it is.
It's got comedic stuff in it.
Sort of funny elements to it, and it's quite light-hearted, but it's just played as a straight horror film, which I really like. I really like that, he's in a suburban neighbourhood and just a bunch of fucking vampires turn up next door.
Yeah.
No explanation, just some vampires. There you go. Great.
Well, that's the beauty of it. I mean, like, it's this film, what kind of really took me with it, watching it back, is it hits the ground running, really.
Oh, absolutely, man. And it absolutely zips along as well. Just totally zips along.
No lengthy preamble. It's just like, bang, vampires, holy shit, next door, carnage, let's go.
Yeah, totally. Everyone knows what fucking vampires are. And and proper, actual, like, old school vampires with coffins and everything.
Yeah, you can tell that Tom Holland is a fan of the oldie school horror film, without question.
Was this about the same time? Was this before or after Lost Boys?
I don't know.
Oh, it's probably before, I would imagine.
Yeah, Lost Boys, I'm going to say that's... No, I'm going to have to look it up because I've made a wild guess at 1986.
Oh, that sounds like you might be right.
Right, here we go. 1987.
Oh,
damn
I was a big fan of that. I was a big fan of that at the time.
Yeah, I do remember watching that quite a few times.
Yeah. So yeah, vampires move in next door. Charlie getting down with a hell of a winching at the start of the film.
Yep.
A hell of a schmoozing with his girlfriend. And the two of them don't really look like they're at school. I always get confused in American films how old people are at school, because do they look like school kids?
Kind of.
They look more like, maybe a bit.
I mean, I think the guy that plays Evil Ed looks certainly fairly high school.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
What's his name? Can't remember.
Jimmy Giblets?
Stephen Jeffries, right?
Stephen Jeffries.
Now, I briefly had a look at Stephen Jeffries, and he spent several years as a gay porn actor.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. Absolutely. It's like,
good for him.
It shows that you can do a bit of porn and find yourself in a Hollywood film not long after.
Oh no! Hold on a second. He did porn before Fright Night.
I think so.
How old is he?
No, that's a lie. What the fuck? No, he did it after. Sorry, I apologise. During the 1990s.
Right.
Appeared for several years in gay pornographic movies using the alias Sam Ritter.
Sam Ritter, there you go.
Bizarre. So yeah, you go the other way around. You start off in Hollywood films.
In a Hollywood film. And then, you move...
The obvious progression is gay pornography after that.
Absolutely.
But all the fun and the fair.
Yeah, baby.
So I suppose he is kind of the comedy trope.
He is the comedy element in it. And actually, you've got to. And he gets turned into a vampire. Like, obviously, no one believes Charlie to start with. Then they all go and investigate. But he gets.
I know you're back.
Oh, you're losing me. Oh, I'm back. Oh my god. Yeah. So he gets turned by Jerry, the main vampire.
Probably about halfway through or something.
And that scene in the alleyway is absolutely fantastic.
It is great. Really nicely shot.
It's brilliant. Really beautifully shot. And it's got... There's one thing I would say about this film as well. Like, Tom Holland... I think was this Tom Holland's first film?
Yep. It's another directorial debut.
Fucking incredible filmmaking. It's really fucking well put together.
I think what he's got, he's got a really good history to kind of get into. I mean, he was an actor to start with, and then a writer. I think he sort of became a writer with a sort of view to trying to get into being a director. So yeah, that's a really great place to come from a director, because you understand so many aspects of it before you even get into it. Yeah,
to have a good overview, totally.
And I suppose it must be good for actors working with a director that knows what it's all about, knows what he would be looking for as an actor, and so I mean, I think I really want to watch it, and I'd said I would do it, and I just didn't get a chance because of work. But there's a feature length documentary on the making of this film on the disc. Yeah, I'll dip into that slightly because I did watch a bit of it.
Did you watch a bit of it? And I was just going to say, like, I'd love to see some of the background stuff about how they got this film off the ground and how they got it made, and just the whole process.
Yeah, well, on this disc you will find
a really, really accomplished.
Yeah.
First film.
What I'll say before
really accomplished.
Before we get to the Blu Ray stuff, there's quite a lot of info about that if you want to check it out. So
cool. And it's the other thing. It's got that real. I know we're not saying it's dated at all, but it's got that real sort of mid-80s Hollywood feature film look to it. It's got it. Kind of looks like it's got. Do you know what I mean? It's just got that sort of. I don't know if it's to do with the stock they were using at the time, or I just don't know. But it's got that. It looks like Highlander and Terminator and all these sort of films. It's just got like a sort of classic 80s look to it.
absolutely,
and just fantastic. But yeah, that alleyway scene when Evil Ed gets turned is just absolutely fantastic. A lovely combination of just mood, fucking smoke. The music's fantastic, and just like the whole action plays out really nicely as well.
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
He obviously gets turned, and still the comedy element as well. I mean, he just as a new vampire, he makes a lot of blundering errors. Doesn't he, really? But I mean, you'd think that if you're going to get turned by a sort of king vampire guy, which Jerry Dandridge is the sort of big vampire in the block, isn't he?
Yeah. But brilliantly played by Chris Sarandon, I have to say. He is right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good in this, yeah.
But they surely should be given a bit of direction, should they not?
You'd like to think maybe like a sort of Vampire 101. I can sort of imagine like Jerry with maybe a blackboard, and you've got like a little maybe Ed's on a little sort of rickety wooden chair with a desk with an ink pot maybe and a jar, and
just taking down some notes.
Just some general do's and don'ts.
General notes. Yeah. Have you seen? Did you ever watch True Blood?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I was a fan of that.
Yeah, well, there's that's it. You know, they like once you've made someone into a vampire, you've got to look after them, don't you?
Yeah,
it's almost like getting a child. You've got to keep them under control and like look after them. You'd have thought that, but Evil Ed just goes blundering out there, gets his fucking face, gets his coupon bound with a fucking cross. Jesus Christ, what a disaster!
Yeah, it's not a good start for him.
No,
it's not a good end for him either.
No, and yeah, it's shit. I mean, do vampires, can they do they only turn into one animal, or can they turn into a variety of animals?
Well, I don't think there's any set rules. I think people keep twisting the rules as they go. So
yeah, because he turns into a little wolf. I like that scene when the wolf's he's coming towards him, and his eyes flash red.
You see a little wolf. It's quite big, really, isn't it?
He's quite a big wolf.
Yeah, sort of werewolf style wolf, really.
Really nice practical effects as well.
Yeah, interestingly, the special effects were done by a team that had just come off Ghostbusters.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
So all the kind of matte stuff that they did, looks pretty good, and that's probably down to all the trial and error they did on a fucking enormous film like Ghostbusters.
Yeah, totally.
So they were like, we know how to do this right off the bat. Should be, we're all good to go. Save you some quids. That was an interesting little factoid.
Nice.
Because who doesn't like Ghostbusters? I mean,
well, everyone loves Ghostbusters, don't they? Sure. So yeah, Evil Ed's a great little role. What do you make of the other people in the film? So what about Charlie? Charlie's it's just quite an understated role, really, isn't it?
It is. I think looking at some of the stuff on the Blu Ray, they're really going for a kind of average boy next door kind of vibe. And I think he plays it really well. William Ragsdale.
I think they totally nailed that. Yeah, William Ragsdale. I think they definitely nailed that. It didn't seem to go on to do much more. Did you ever see Fright Night 2? I believe
I have seen Fright Night 2.
He was in Fright Night 2.
It's about so long ago, man. I'd struggle to say whether I liked it or not. I
was quite tempted to pick it up on the back of this, but it's only come out in Germany. Apparently there's rights issues with the film.
Yeah, there is problems.
And I think the German edition, the word on the street is it's actually a bootleg.
They've probably just recorded it off the telly.
Yeah. Scaled it up a bit, maybe.
So yes, I mean, obviously once all the vampire shit properly kicks off, then you've got the introduction of Roddy McDowall,
who
plays sort of
Peter Vincent.
Peter Vincent, who is sort of like a sort of hammy horror actor turned host to Friday night chill movies, that kind of business.
Yeah, so it's something we never really had over here in the UK.
No,
that
it seems like a
tradition, that sort of Elvira style.
Yeah, seems like a very American kind of thing. And you think about the guy that's in Gremlins 2 as well. So he does that cable show where he does all that coming out the coffin business. We never really got that over here. So Peter Vincent, played by Roddy McDowall, who has been in a fair old rake of stuff, and I do like the name Peter Vincent.
It's a great little mashup of
Peter Cushing and Vincent Price.
Yep.
Actually, Vincent Price, Tom Holland wanted him to play the part. He wanted Vincent Price to play the part of Peter Vincent. But
that would have been amazing.
It would have been amazing, but I think at that point he was just like, man, I've just been so typecast that he just didn't want to do it, essentially. So that's just fair enough. Also some nice little anecdotes throughout the Blu Ray of Tom Holland meeting Vincent Price. So it's we'll get to that later. But it's lots of nice little stories. Totally. Man, I tell you what, Roddy McDowall is absolutely.
Oh, he's tremendous in it.
He steals the show, really, doesn't he? He's really good.
He is absolutely fucking brilliant. And I mean, he's been in whoever films.
Yep.
Going way back. But I generally, if I hear that name, I just think of him in Planet of the Apes, really.
Well, I think that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. In fact, one of the extras alludes to the ape playing. But yeah, I mean, all the characters are good. I mean, that's the weird thing. It's like all the actors are really good, but looking into their history and stuff, hardly any of them really broke out from it. It's odd.
Yeah, totally. Well, I mean, he was in shitloads of stuff, and he was in quite a lot of trashy things as well. I noticed he was in Class of 1984. He was in Cutting Class. Shakma. So yeah, he's been in some pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, absolutely fantastic performances. The sort of the TV host that just sort of thinks he's coming along to grab the money off Charlie's girlfriend, just to come along and show him that it's not really a vampire, and then gets drawn into the whole affair when he realises he can't see any reflections in the mirror. It's just really nicely done.
It's really well done. He's sort of like, right, I'm getting the fuck out of here. But obviously, I'll get him to persuade him to return, and it just gets really fun after that. I really like it. There's so many cool scenes of botched vampire hunting and stuff. It's just one disaster after the other, isn't it? Really,
totally. Total shambles.
And again, that's where the sort of like the comedy element comes in. It's not played straight comedy, but there's that kind of fun element to it. But at the same time, they're botching it, and you're like, oh fucking hell, you're gonna get fucked up. So you're still in that horror mode. You're kind of laughing with it, but you're still kind of like, something bad's gonna happen, and you're nervous about it. So
it's good. It's really scary. It does have a good high tension levels.
It is. It's honestly, it's really brilliantly done. The more I think about it, it's just like shit. They really have nailed something quite special here.
Totally.
It absolutely deserves all the plaudits it gets.
And what do you think of? What do you think of his girlfriend, Amy, played by Amanda? Amanda Bears. Is it Bears? I just keep looking at it and just think her name. I just think her surname is Bear Arse. Amanda Bear Arse.
Let's go for that because
because
that is amazing, because it says bear and arse in the same name. That's almost what the fuck? That's like one of those. That's like in Mallrats 2 with the sailboat. It's like it's hard to really differentiate what's going on. It's like one of those magic puzzles. Bear arse, bear arse, bear arse. Amanda Bear Arse. But not bear as in naked, but bear as in like, I'm a big bear. A bear's arse. Amanda, a bear's arse.
Oh, tremendous.
Right, I'm going to get a drink. Give me a second. That's fucking phenomenal. It is. It's like a magic eye puzzle. What the fuck? In any case, I think she's really good.
She's really good. She didn't really go on to. I mean, she was more famous from Married with Children.
Yes,
she played the neighbour in Married for Children.
I think a lot of the kind of
shit that must have run for fucking ages as well. Married with Children.
Oh, that was a real sort of sitcom from my childhood. I watched it all the time. So.
Oh yeah, totally. No, it was great. It was great.
It's usually on at like sort of insane times at night as well, when I shouldn't really have been watching telly, I don't think.
Oh yeah, totally. I know. It was. I can never really work out whether it was a. Whether it was, I wonder what time it aired at in the States.
I don't know.
It just feels like it was always maybe a bit more grown up. I think my dad was always just like, you shouldn't be watching this.
Yeah, I think there was definitely a kind of trash element.
Just because it was rubbish, probably. But yeah.
Yeah, well, it's deemed rubbish.
11 seasons of it.
Wow, was that many? Christ,
Jesus.
Man, I'd actually like to go back and watch an episode just to see what I think of it these days. Or maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. I'm just going to get a quick beer. You talk about Amanda Beararse.
Amanda Beararse, totally. I don't know what to say about her. She's quite sort of. She was in 236 episodes. Unbelievable. Marcy Darcy. She played the character Marcy Darcy.
Oh man, that's a hell of a name. God.
Totally.
Totally. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that basically covers most of the cast. I mean, I think everyone does an absolutely cracking job. Can't complain about any of them, really.
Nope, not at all.
Moving on to so we've already sort of touched on it a little bit, but what do you make? Obviously, it's a horror film podcast. We're into horror films. What do you make? We've already said that it's pretty tense. It does that really well. There's lots of like sort of.
Yep.
There's no big frights or anything. It's not one of those films, despite being called Fright Night. There's no jump scares or anything like that. It's not a scary film, really. It does get a bit tense, but some really nice effects as well. Some really nice practical effects.
They are cool.
I'll tell you. We'll get to it in our later feature, really. But I think maybe it's slightly relevant here as well. But have you got any idea why this is still an 18?
Still an 18.
It's still an 18. I suspect they've just not bothered getting it re-rated.
I think that's probably it. Yeah. Well, no, I suppose they would they not for the Blu Ray release? Would they not have to get it?
I don't know if they have to.
Or do you just, or can you just say, I'll just take?
I think it's the same.
There.
I think they can just say it's the same print,
right?
Or whatever, or I don't know. Maybe it was rated again, but that would seem strange. Bizarre.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it'd be a very soft 18 if it's an 18. Yeah.
Yeah, and have you seen? You said you've seen the sequels. Not the sequels. The remakes.
I've seen Fright Night 2. Yep, I've seen the remake as well. Yep.
Yeah, and how does that compare as well?
I mean, the remake's not bad, but I don't get it. I really don't get it. It's. I mean, I'm not one to get particularly over arsey about remakes, but this is one I'm just like, I just don't understand it. It's got none of the original elements of the first film for me. Like none of it. It doesn't better it in any way. It doesn't match it. You got to file that under pointless remake. Simple as. It's not even like it's really a sort of a big name that young kids would sort of know of. Exactly.
Or anything, really, I would say.
Yeah, I mean,
really,
it's basically for me. It's just like that remake is just a lack of imagination. It's like we need to fucking put something in our roster. Oh, let's maybe remake that, because as you say, I mean, I would guess the general age range for that film these days won't have a fucking clue what the first one is anyway.
No.
So yeah, I just didn't like anything about it. It wasn't a bad film, but it was just like there's nothing to.
Just pointless.
It's just nothing likable about this at all. It's just it just exists, and that's the best I can say about it.
It's got some quite big stars in it as well.
It does, and again that kind of negates the point of it, because one of the nice things about it is you've got all these. A lot of them are sort of like the younger guys are certainly unknown essentially, and so that's what adds to the vibe of the whole film. And unfortunately, that's all been chucked out the window in the remake. Which file under pointless remake, I'm afraid.
Well, I'm just having a look. So the remake was. Rated 15.
Yep.
Strong
horrors these days are. Yep.
Strong gore language. The original strong violence and horrors, rated 18, but it was last rated in 2000, so nearly 20 years ago.
Right, okay. Yep, so they've not bothered trying to resubmit it, yeah.
Still just within the Furman era.
It is, yeah.
But we'll get to that later, won't we?
Well, I'll let you into a little secret. I've done fuck all research on that.
Oh, yeah, totally. So, yeah, film zips along. Great acting. Well shot. Anything else to report back on it?
Not really. I mean...
Music-wise, what do you think of the score?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Didn't blow my tits off.
I did. One thing I did particularly like, the one thing that stood out for me about the soundtrack was that he's got that most 80s of things, a bespoke end credit song.
Oh yeah.
I do love a film. It's like the Killer Clowns from Outer Space opening sound.
Yeah.
So, totally. I mean, I like a wee sort of a wee bespoke song.
And I agree with you. That's always quite cool.
It's always quite nice.
Yeah, I think I would say the soundtrack passed without incident for me.
Yeah, it's just like super 80s, basically, isn't it, soundtrack wise? Yeah, no. So I think that probably ties us up as far as the.
I think so.
Goes.
I mean, yeah. As I say, as always, we're not going to give away the ending.
No,
but.
I'm gonna jump in here and I'm gonna say I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. It's it's an easy 2 thumbs up. I mean, I could quite easily stick that on again now and be
so can I actually happy. I'm actually just talking about it just now. I'm like, I quite fancy watching it again.
Yeah, totally agree. I seem to have inadvertently switched on my printer. Hang on, sorry.
Oh God, I thought you'd taken your penis out for a second there.
Well, that's already out, you know that.
Oh God, yeah, totally.
You can't see me below the waist, but it's always out. Okay, what's happening here?
Oh God knows, he just started printing off stuff.
Yeah, pictures of my penis.
Oh God.
Got loads of pictures of my cock.
Yeah. Hopefully you've
just to remember it by later life.
Hopefully you've enlarged it.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay.
So we need to move on to. So 2 thumbs up from both of us. Cracking film. Definitely get it watched.
Yep.
Highly recommended. I think probably going pretty cheap these days.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Shall we move on to reviewing the Blu Ray?
Blue! It's the Blu Ray reviews, yeah! Blue! It's the Blu Ray reviews, yeah! Blue! It's the Blu Ray reviews, yeah! Blue! It's the Blu Ray review!
So both of us, I think, have got the same edition.
We do.
Released over here in the UK by Eureka.
Yep.
Eureka. Bit of a weird label, Eureka, isn't it? Like, I tend to think of it as the sort of more arty side of things, but they've also released some just absolutely bonkers shit. I think their banter is that they just like to release good films.
And I think whoever owns it's like, I like that film, I'm going to put it out. That seems to be the vibe.
Yeah, totally. No, and it's a lovely edition. Great sleeve, uses original artwork. It's a 2-discer. 1 disc, I think, will be the DVD.
It is, yep.
And I believe this is a 4K restoration.
It is,
and it looks lovely. I would say.
I believe.
I think it looks great.
I think it's a. Because I remember it was released in the States by Twilight Time. I think twice actually, but sold out so quick. Sold out so quickly.
Sold it super quick. Yeah.
So yeah, I think the general vibe is that it's the same transfer, although interestingly the Eureka one's got a higher bit rate. Whether that's made any difference, I have no idea.
Oh, does it?
It does.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Whether that's come to any fruition, I don't know, because I don't have anything to compare it to. But whatever they've done, it looks fucking great.
Excellent. Yeah, no, it looks absolutely fantastic. I would highly recommend it. It's always nice to sit down and watch these films. It's the beauty of Blu-ray. I was thinking this the other day, like, what would we for fans like us, what would we have done without Blu-ray? You know, Blu-ray,
it's great,
projector, just what a time to be alive. Just, do you know what I mean? Just some great stuff coming out on Blu all the time. And I didn't get a chance to delve into any of the extras, but it is feature laden. I believe there's more, maybe slightly more extra features on the American version.
There's audio commentaries, I think.
Right.
The main emissions from this one.
Yeah.
But as a person who rarely to never listens to an audio commentary, I'm not overly fussed about that. Mind you saying, I'm a person that really looks at extra features, so hey ho. If it was a bare bones disc, I'd probably still give it 2 thumbs up. But you've got the massive documentary, which is well over 2 hours.
Epic.
Which I didn't have time to get into that. I've had a quick look at it, and it does actually look pretty well put together. Whether it will beat the definitive documentary in The Thing, I don't know. I will have a look at it and maybe get back to you on that. So the other things I quickly went actually I watched most of the other stuff, in the hope that you were going to watch the documentary, but then you didn't.
Well, I did say that I was going to, but it would have hinged on me getting home in time tonight to get through a 2 hour, more than 2 hours, 2 hours and 26 minutes.
It's an absolute monster.
That is a beast. It feels slightly reminiscent of the infamous documentary on The Thing.
Yeah, which is just superb. I mean, that is it's the standard. That's the standard to beat, and it's a fucking high standard.
Maybe we should do a little series of side missions where we review amazing documentaries on films.
Yep, that should get us even less listeners than we have now.
We could do the Alien one.
Yep.
The Aliens doc. We could do this one. We could do the thing. Yeah. Okay. I'll just shut up.
Great.
Yeah.
So the other things I looked at, there are some other things in this that I didn't look at just because I think one of them was a vintage EPK. I was like, well, there's nothing I hate more than an EPK, let alone a vintage one.
Oh, totally.
So there's a panel, I think it's from 2008, some sort of convention. Which is good. You know, you've got all the cast in there. Well, most of the cast on there, and it's pretty good. It suffers from the usual kind of, it's in standard definition, which you would expect from that kind of time. Yeah. And the audio seems to have been taken just kind of from an onboard mic, and the camera work is just from one camera, so there's a lot of kind of panning around trying to find people, and then sort of like panic onto people who aren't even speaking. It's like, but at the same time, there are some really cool stories on it and stuff, so it's worth a watch. And then you got Choice Cuts, which is an interview with Tom Holland. Comes in 3 parts, so I guess it was maybe a TV thing. So the first 2 parts kind of concentrate on his work before Fright Night, and then the third part is more Fright Night, but that's really good. I would totally recommend that. Lots of interesting insight into how he got into being a director and the kind of things he's done.
Yeah, I'm really interested in watching that, actually. I'd like to know more about Tom Holland.
Yeah, I mean, he comes across really well. I'd totally recommend that. It's awfully good. And then there's the Tom Holland writing horror. Having briefly looked at the document, I briefly looked at the documentary first, and so the section from this looks like it's either outtakes or sections from the documentary, because all the people interviewed are in the same kind of scenario. So I was like, I don't think I really want to watch all of this in case it's actually going to be in the full length thing. So that's basically everyone who worked on it, their thoughts on Tom Holland, and then like pretty similar is Roddy McDowall, Apes to Bats, and again all the kind of same folk in the being interviewed in the same scenario, basically talking about what it was like to work with him and their memories of him before they started the production.
Oh, magic. Cool. I'm definitely going to have to check that out.
So, I mean, pretty feature round. A few things I didn't delve into, a couple of trailers and stills, reels and that kind of business. But otherwise, fucking top notch.
Excellent. And I'm just going to quickly look up and see what people may be able to pick up for in the UK. I mean, I know that, well, there's a bit of a, it's a bit of a sort of infamous Blu-ray situation with this film, because the Twilight Time edition, 30th anniversary edition in the States, goes for mega money, doesn't it? It's like, you know, triple digits, I think, probably, which is mad for a Blu-ray that you can get in other countries.
I think it was limited to like 3,000 copies or something like that for both of those releases.
Either 3 or 5,000 or something like that, but yeah. Let's see, Fright Night, Blu-ray, a tenner. You can pick up for a tenner in sex. I'm only calling it sex because that's what you call it, John.
No, I don't. I call it CEX.
Do you? I call it CEX. Oh, why'd you give? Oh, someone gives me shit for calling it sex, not calling it sex.
Oh, it's not me.
Okay, sorry. Someone does.
I'm going to be honest. There's nothing really sexy about that shop.
Now I'm doing something really bad here as well. I'm checking.
Oh, masturbating! Quickly, turn it off.
Oh, I'm checking the arch enemy here, Amazon.
Oh, okay.
That I've actually stopped using altogether.
Oh,
so yeah, brand new.
Brave.
Brand new from Amazon for $11.79. There you go.
Yep.
You probably buy direct from Eureka though. That's what I'd recommend doing. Give them some money. Support all these, as we always say. Support these labels.
Yep, you'll definitely be able to buy it direct from them, and I believe that's what I did when it came out.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh nice.
Yep.
Cool. Give them some cash.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I think when they first come out, they're always kind of roughly the same price, and it's like fuck it, I'll pay £1 postage just to give it to them. So. So yeah,
good lad.
Excellent. So yeah, I mean the Blu-ray is an absolute winner. There's no question about it. I mean the picture quality is fabulous. Quality. I mean
soundtrack sounds grand. So yeah,
can't argue with that at all. It's a cracker.
And $12.99 direct from Eureka.
Oh, there you go. That's
money,
your option.
money well spent.
Absolutely.
Money well spent.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're going out to the cinema to watch a film, you're going to spunk at least that anyway, aren't you? So why not just buy a Blu-ray and keep it on your shelf? Now, John, so that takes us to our next little feature, which is your feature.
Is it?
I can't remember the name of it. Is it? Do you ditch it or dump it?
Oh, I think we do that after the James Furman thing.
Do we do that after the James Furman section?
I've done no research on this because I am fairly sure it was completely uncut.
It was. So, well, we can say that in our feature that we always do. What did James Furman think? We know exactly what James Furman thought this time round, because the film has always been uncut in the UK.
Yeah, I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to bother putting a theme tune in for this, to be honest, because
no, it's too short. 1985, which was actually peak fucking. That's just the tail end of the video nasties. That's
peak danger, really. Yeah,
that's the whole fucking scare. The whole new system. I think the 18 certificate was probably quite new. I can't remember when the modern certificates came in, but it would have been an X previously, I guess. But it was an 18. It was never cut on video either.
Nope.
So, which is pretty unusual. But to be fair to Furman, there's not really much he could cut in this. It's not a gore fest or anything like that at all.
No, I mean
there are some really nice effects, but.
Yeah, I mean if you're looking for like a gore fest, this is not your place. I mean, it really is just a genuinely really, really well made film, and just tight as fuck, really great. I mean, super tight, and just a straight up simple vampire horror movie. Yeah, just done with some love and care. And if he had cut it, what a cunt he would have been. Oh God, what would he have? God, you wouldn't have put it past him though, would you? No. It would have found something. God. So yeah, well, I think that brings us to the end of everything. Which brings us to your little final feature, I guess. Yes, I'm calling it Love It or List It. Love It or List It. That's the one I just couldn't remember. We've been selling bits and pieces of Blu-rays and whatnot on eBay and whatnot. We have trading things in, whatever it might be. So obviously this is a bit of an exception because we already had the Blu-ray, but mostly, I'd say a lot of the time, we've been buying stuff in to watch it. Yeah. And so the question is, after you've watched it, are you going to love it or are you going to list it? Well, I'm going to love it. I'm going to keep it. I'm not going to list it.
because I think I genuinely will watch it again at some point. And what about yourself? This is second edition. The second time you bought it, did it get stolen from you at all?
No,
you bought it.
No,
you bought it after watching my edition.
No. It just didn't get stolen. I don't think.
Oh,
or
perfect.
did it? Or, no, did it come out after that? I can't remember. Anyway, but yeah,
What are you going to do? Love it or list it?
I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna keep it on the shelves, man. I know.
You're ruthless these days.
I am pretty ruthless. I am. So this is a pretty
Yeah.
big statement. This tells you how much I think about this film. There is, after watching it again, it's like there's no question that I will probably watch it multiple times before I die.
Yeah. Yes. Which could be any day now.
Yeah, I mean, if it's tomorrow, I wish I'd listed it a couple of weeks ago. Got the £4 and spent it on some lube for a really exotic wank. But I'm going to presume I'm going to make it to maybe 50.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I'll
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, come on. You can't make it to 50. Do you know the scary thing? That's only 8 years away.
It is. So I've got 8 years left.
Fucking 50. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. 50 seems really old.
The thing is,
Anyway.
about when we reach 50, it turns out we've been in a sort of 50s version of Logan's Run. It's like, so instead of like having to face that disaster at 30, that's actually 50.
50. Oh,
In
God.
fact, by the time like Boris Johnson's Prime Minister,
Oh,
that
well,
actually might be a thing.
it might be down south, but we'll become independent by then, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, but then Scotland will be like really forward thinking and make it 40, so we'll get killed immediately.
That's true. Yeah. Well, fair. Well, the thing is, we'll deserve it anyway, won't we?
Yeah, totally. We've lived a decent life. It's fine. Nothing too much to complain about. Although it will leave my children parentless, which will be a bit of a bugger.
Oh, that'd be a bummer, but good for them.
Always.
They'll have your Blu Ray collection and your projector, so it'll be fine.
Oh, yeah, totally. Little bastards.
Right, well, I think that's about us for tonight. Thanks for joining us for cracking film. And if you've not seen it, get it watched. Definitely get it watched. Highly recommended. So moving on, our next film in the chain.
Oofed.
I'm looking forward to this one.
I'm not sure I am.
Really fucking looking forward to this one. I because the reason I'm looking forward to it is because I remember both of us particularly enjoying it when it came out.
Yes. When did it come out? When did it come out?
Early 90s?
That sounds roughly right, yeah.
Was it early? It must have been early 90s. So we will be moving on. So we're moving on. I'm going to quickly look it up actually, just to see what has to be a fairly obscure horror film.
Fairly obscure. Jesus, man. I can't believe a Blu Ray exists.
I know, it's absolutely insane. So moving on in the chain, the 1990.
Oof, just on the button.
We were 13.
I rented this at a dog's video shop. I
remember watching it with you. I watched it many
Jesus.
times. We are going to be watching. So the link is Fright Night, vampires. So we're moving on to another vampire film. I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle from 1990.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Quite an obscure British horror comedy about a vampire motorcycle.
Yep. I think I think your fond memories. You got to remember now. You've told me that date. It's like we were 13.
We were. Yes.
So I wonder if that humour will translate.
Probably not. But I'm really looking forward to it. And actually, I've just thought of quite a good film to follow up with as well.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah. So join us next time for I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Good luck, chaps. Good luck.